Today we continue with our class Hilchos De'os. We talk about development of character traits. Okay. Alright, so we continue with our Hilchos De'os character development, and we're on Halachah number 5. And it's very long Halachah, a lot of explanations. And when it's a lot of explanations, it must be very interesting. Okay. So chapter 1, Halachah 5, and it says, a person who carefully examines his behavior and therefore deviates slightly from the mean to either side is called pious. Okay. What is implied? One who shuns pride and turns to the other extreme and carrying himself lowly is called pious. This is the quality of piety. How is he separates himself from pride? Only to the extent of that he reaches the mean and display the humility. Mean means this what is it? The middle road. Okay, mean. Okay, and display humility. He is called wise. This is the quality of wisdom. The same applies with regard to other character traits. The pious of the early generations would bend their temperaments to the intermediate path, from the intermediate path toward the either of the two extremes. For some traits, they would veer toward the final extreme. For other, towards the first extreme. This is referred to as behavior beyond the measure of the law. Okay. We are commanded to walk in these intermediate paths, and they are good and straight paths. As Dvarim 28:9 states, and you shall walk in his ways. So in his ways, meaning we're going to see it's emulating HaShem. So as we learn in Ashmana Prakim. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, and let's see. Okay, a person who carefully examines his behavior and therefore deviates slightly from the mean to the either side is called pious. Okay, so first, person who carefully examines his behavior, and as we said before, right? Since we don't have any prophets. So a person must do each one of us by themselves. Okay, of course you can ask advice of the Rabbi, but nobody knows you as you know yourself. Right? So commentary: in effort to achieve desired intermediate path. So again, person who carefully examines his behavior, right? Because to what extreme he is close to, and therefore deviates slightly from the mean. To compensate the possible error in calculating the mean. Okay, so meaning if he's extreme to the right, wherever right is, so and mean is here, the middle is here, so he has to go a little over. So in case of he's going to do an error, so he's going to land in the middle. So that's what it means. I have this. Guitar tuner from many years ago, 30 years ago. So, and so I mean, it was electronic, but very like old. So and when you tune it, so like you have to do a little extra to the other side. So because it's going to give in, right? Like for sure. Okay. So and then after a minute or so, it's going to be normal. Okay. Right, and this person and this to either side. So you go a little over the mean. So meaning you to the right. Middle is here. So you go a little to the extra to the left. So in order to end up in the middle eventually. Okay. So this person is called pious. So let's see. In Shmona Prakim, as we learn, right, chapter 4, Rabbi explains that one can refine and correct his behavior by balancing tendency for excess in one direction by intentionally forcing oneself to adopt opposite extreme. right? Opposite extremes, so meaning that if he's greedy, so he has to be like much more generous, that even required, right, of normal person, right? So other extreme. One second. And he continues. It's in chapter 2, Halachah 2. Therefore, a pious did not allow themselves to fix their traits in the midpoint, but would bend slightly to the side of excess or want as hedge and hedge and a guard. So as we said, so just in case, so they despise. So our goal is to be in the middle. But in case if the error make a little error, so they want to go back to their old ways. So they're going to go a little extreme to another side. Okay. He goes on to explain that even for the pious, this extreme were not ends of the ends in themselves, but means to help them to overcome the nature tendency. Thus, both the pious and the person of undeveloped character may act in extreme manner. However, the difference between them is that the behavior of the pious is carefully calculated with intent to refine his personality, while undeveloped person that does so without thought as a natural response to his whims and fancies. Okay, so let's understand this approach. So the approach is like two people are trying to do good. Two people are trying to change themselves. So one is pious person, is one undeveloped person. So undeveloped person, sometimes like all the people suddenly decided they do New Year's resolution. Start like suddenly work on themselves, right? Or somebody told them, somebody offended them, and now yes, you're right. I'm like this, I'm like that. I have to work on themselves, and now they go into extreme, right? And that's not what we should do. We should follow the path of the pious. So pious person, he understand the issue, right? Try to analyze the issue, understand the issue, and go to the extreme. But this extreme is calculated, right? So he knows the goal. The goal is the medium, right? But he calculates go to a little to the extreme. Just let's read one more time, just to make sure we did not miss anything. Okay. He goes on to explain, meaning Rambam, that even the pious, even for the pious, this extreme are not the ends themselves, but means to help to overcome the natural tendency, right? So this extreme, it's not like he wants to be that extreme, but he wants to kill or to help to fix his natural tendency. He has some character traits. So he because he's greedy, right, and he cannot control himself. So now, right, or could not control, but now he has to start working on himself and go to extreme to break this dependency, like his greed on his greed. Okay. Thus, both the pious and person and undeveloped and the person on undeveloped character may act in extreme manner, right? But the difference is, as we said, this pious person understand what is the medium and what I need to do. Undeveloped person, he knows that whatever I am now is not good. That's it. That's where it stops, right? And I have to do something different. However, the difference between them is in behavior. Of the pious is carefully calculated with intent to refine his personality, right? And I guess I would say that, like even personality in general. So I know that I have to work on myself. Personality in general, I just start from this character trait. Okay. While undeveloped person does so without thought, as a natural response to whims and fancies. So this undeveloped person, if person does not have a plan, it's only in plan and realistic plan, very important. So as I said many times, people show me their plans, and of course, like I admire them with their plans, but then I mean, knowing them even a little, it's not going to work out. Like from the day more than half a day, they're not going to work out. So the plan must be realistic, because that's how Yetzer Hara wants to fail us. How, right? He's not going to intervene. So you do your plans. You do you plan to be Moshe Rabbeinu, and he lets you. Yes, absolutely. Why shouldn't you? Such a talented person. You're such a talented, pious person. That's about time. And then when the time comes, he's going to fail you, right? And he's going not he because you didn't get used to behave in this fashion. So he's going to say, look, you're such a loser. And guess what? People give up very, very easily. Okay. So we should not be like that, of course. We have to be this pious person who does everything by calculation, and even extreme by calculation, again, to cure his bad character trait. Continues Rambam. What is implied? One who shuns pride, right, and turns to the other extreme, and carried himself lowly, is called pious. So lowly is not. Lowly is extreme, right? We say humble is the middle of the road. Lowly is extreme. So this person, that's an amazing example, working on his character traits, and he goes to the other extreme, meaning lowly. Okay, so let's do this sentence, and because pride, of course, Rambam gives the best. The most. The most popular problems, right? If you can say that, right? Pride, and even some people, and I met some people, and I was sure that this person, nothing is going in his life, and for sure he's humble, and guess what? Such a proud person is like, you serious? Of course, I did not say out loud, but I thought to myself, you serious? I thought, so about you a little different. Very interesting. Okay, so let's see. One who shuns pride. Commentary. At first glance, the choice of pride as an example is rather problematic, because chapter 2, Halachah 3. So we're going to get it. Rambam writes, there are traits to which it is forbidden for a person who follows intermediate path. Such as a trait is pride. The proper path is not that the person should merely be humble, but rather hold himself very low. Therefore, our sages commanded be very, very humble in spirit. Okay, so before we continue, right? So with these character traits, there are a few character traits, right, that Hashem despises, and one of them is pride. And as a commentator say in second chapter, we're going to say pride go extreme. So in all of other traits go in the middle of the road, but pride go extreme, right? So humble is not good. So even humble, as we said before in the beginning, I don't know what Halachah. So it says in the middle of the road, but now later on we say go and become very low. Therefore, our sages commanded be very, very humble of spirit. Okay. So let's see the explanation. It is possible to explain that because of the negative aspect of the quality of pride, the middle path that one should follow in regard to it does not resemble the middle path of the other traits and may appear as extreme. Pride represents one extreme. Its converse being absolute lack of concern for self to the extent that one walks around in rags. Okay. Between these extremes, a number of intermediate points: modesty, which might normally be considered as intermediate level; humility, which Rambam considered to be true middle path; and extreme humility, which is pious behavior, Lechem Mishnah. Okay. See also the commentary to the Halachah cited above. Possibly it is exaggerated contrast in this set of traits that make the most fitting example to demonstrate the principle of the middle path that Rambam exposes. These gross differences allow the possibility of clear distinction. Okay, so let's read this commentary. I think it's brilliant, and we're going to explain. So the question is why Rambam, the Tzal, chose this example, because if this example is extreme, right? I mean, not extreme. This character trait is extreme, right? This pride. Okay. So one more time we're going to read and explain. It is possible to explain that because of the negative aspect of the quality of pride, meaning sometimes because if a person just keep quiet for 1 minute, everything would be good, right? So, and because of the pride, person cannot hold himself back, or she cannot hold herself back, and they have to answer because of the pride. Who are they to tell me whatever? Right, and they lose everything, and they the whole life goes down the drain. Why? Because they had to answer. Why they had to answer? Because of the pride. The only reason. And they understand. Sometimes people do understand that if I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say, I'm going to lose this job. I'm going to lose this relationship. And you know what they do? Continue, and they still do. Okay. The middle path that one should follow in regard to it does not resemble the middle path of other traits and may appear as an extreme. Right. Okay. So meaning, so what commentators say that maybe this example. I mean, he say his question why Rambam took this example of pride. So continue. Pride represents one extreme. Its converse is being absolute lack of concern for self to the extent that one walks around in rags. I think we use the word meek, like homeless person. Some homeless people are full of pride, actually, right? They're not so humble, so meek, right? But even though they walk like they do, but still they have some pride. But the extreme to the pride is one side, and another, as he said, absolute lack of concern for himself, does not wash, does not go in the restroom wherever he wants. Everybody looks, doesn't matter, right? Right, walks around in drugs. Those are two extremes. Right? Between these extremes, a number of intermediate points, which is modesty. So modesty is could be classy. So it's not okay. So it's a good thing, which might normally be considered as intermediate point, modesty. Okay, silent humility, which Rambam considered true middle path. Okay, so humility is actually okay. That's what we have to aim to, right? And extreme humility, which is pious behavior. Extreme humility is. We're going to speak later on what extreme humility is, but person in establishing their goals must be very realistic, because if you not going to achieve any goals and you don't have a strong willpower, guess what? Yitzhak is going to eat your life, that you're a loser. And that's it. So that's how it works. I saw people fail, and I begged them not to do it, or do less more realistic plans, and do advance slowly. But they said, no, I can't do that. Right? Don't hold me. You holding me back. Okay. See also the commentary to the Halachah cited above. Possibly it is exaggerated. It is exaggerated contrast in this set of traits that makes it the most fitting example, right? So he said, yeah, of course Rambam knows what he's doing, right? Because of the extremes. So a fitting example to demonstrate the principle, the middle path that Rambam exposes. These gross differences, like gross meaning huge difference, allow the possibility of clear distinction, right? Very, very proud and very, very low. Okay. Continue. So I actually, one more time the whole sentence. What is implied? One should shun pride, right? And turns to the other extreme and carries himself lowly is called pious. Okay. So commentary. So lowly, it's as we see, it's much. It's it, if humble is in the middle, so low is to another extreme. Okay. Commentary. The Lechem Mishnah emphasized that one need not actually adopt this the other extreme, but rather he should tend to behavior at that direction. Right. So and it's very interesting commentary. So we always, like whatever we do in our life, or when we want to change our character traits or anything, we have like a schedule. You have some schedule, so you have to have the whole picture in mind. Like, well, what I'm going to learn, like how many times a week I'm going to learn, what is my goal. So we have to have the whole picture in mind. So here, this humble behavior, as he says, how he said it, that one need not actually adopt these extremes, like the lowly. I mean, okay, but rather he should attend his behavior toward this direction. So one example I give, right? So if person is, and it's there is always some person in some communities, like in some companies, something that person is very low, right? And everybody's trying to take advantage of that person. Like if you're not such a person, like if you're not a pushover. So I mean, one thing is to be humble, but another thing is to be low. So if it's not your natural character trait, so don't go to that extreme, because it's only a matter of time that you're going to explode. But to have this humility, there is no problem. To be humble and with a self-respect, there is no problem. Okay, that's in this case it's not contradiction. Okay, so this person is called pious. Okay, this is the quality of piety. This is the quality of piety. So what does it mean? Commentary, which presents deviation from the mean. So pious person is Hasid, right? So pious person is Hasid. Here we go. So Hasid meaning that Hasid is a person who does extra. So he knows what Halachah is. Of course, he does Halachah for sure and does a little extra. So before we start with Hasidus in Mislas Hashirim in chapter 19, so we have to adopt all of the 18 chapters. For Mislas Hashirim is about character development. As well, right? So all of this 18 chapter is it's how to be a tzaddik. No, it's actually maybe 14 or 15. It's like how to be tzaddik. Tzaddik meaning a person who does everything according to Shulchan Aruch. He does not do anything extreme, right? That's a tzaddik. Okay, continue. However, if he separates himself from pride only to the extent that he reaches the mean and display humility, he is called wise, right? So Rambam called it wise, meaning that person calculated, right? So don't do it to any extreme, any humility, right? And become only humble, not low. As I said, I mean, a person from being proud to become low, it's a long way to go, right? And it's not so easy, unless it's your nature. And then you work on yourself, and you're a very strong person, it's a recipe for failure, guaranteed. Okay. Okay. So, but person who goes in the middle, again, it's nice to be Hasid, it's nice to be pious, but even if you go to the middle, you're a righteous person, right? Called wise. Okay, wise. This is the quality of wisdom. So what does it mean? So let's see what is the quality of wisdom. So meaning the quality of wisdom, even before we see the commentary, the quality of wisdom that you understand where you must be. That's the quality of wisdom. So people without plan, but without seeing the full picture, without all of this knowledge, they do not know where to stop. You understand? So this, I don't know, what would be some craftsman, right? He knows where to stop, Like it's unbelievable. So I saw once a video, and the guys would do I don't know, like they do plaster work, and like on a corner, and they take a knife and start like carving like flowers, like unbelievable sculpture. It's unbelievable, like decoration, like. So this guy, so just an example. So this guy has a full picture. Like, oh, okay, no, I apologize. First he draw. So he does a lot of plaster, like just a bump, and then he draws with a pencil, right? And then he takes knife and like start carving. It's unbelievable. So it's person with a vision. So meaning he knows where to stop, and he has the full picture in his mind. So same is to be wise. So you have to know where to stop, where is the middle, and like how much to extreme I have to go a little over, so I would end up in the middle. So this is quality of wisdom. Commentary. In his commentary to Avos 5:6, the Rambam contrasts this wise with pious. Okay. So commentary Avos, wise, right, with pious. So pious is Hasid. Okay. A boor is the one who lacks intellectual and ethical development. So when people call somebody a boor and am aretz, that's not nice, right? But many times the poor is like person without feelings. He has no brain, basically, and he like no ethical development, no manners. Like he can do whatever he wants, basically, right? So that's a disgusting person. Boor lacks intellectual development and ethics. So some people are not very smart, right? Not very sharp, but at least they have some manners and they would behave normally, right? So I mean, maybe you're not going to ask them financial advice or something, or some medical advice, but they're nice people. Just because they're not intellectually advanced does not mean anything, right? But this one boor is disgusting. He's not smart, and he's without manners. A wise man possesses both of these qualities, meaning in intellectual development and with ethical right, and with good character traits. Again, the wise man possesses both of these qualities in a complete way, as is fitting. Okay, a pious man is a wise man who increases his piety. There is emotional development until he tends toward the one extreme, as explained in chapter 4 of Shmona Prakim. And he is seeks and his deeds exceed his wisdom. Okay, so let's understand about this wise man. It's clear, right? So he has intellect, and he has ethics, and he is on his way. Everybody likes him, respects him. But this Hasid, right, pious man, is right. All this is tzaddik. I mean, there's no Hebrew here, so I'm not sure if he call him tzaddik or not. I don't know. I don't want to spend that. So okay. So that's okay. So here we say that I think that that's what it means. So it's a tzaddik plus, so everything that tzaddik has. So according to Halachah, right, he's a developed person, and this tzaddik is a wise man. So right, this Hasid is a wise man who increases his piety, right? So he does extreme. There is his emotional development. That and why would he do that? So and Ramchal explained that because he wants to be close to Hashem. He wants to be a servant. And servant is the one who is so close to his master, he knows what his master wants, right? Other people don't, right? But he knows, right? Until he tends toward one extreme, right? As explained, and his deeds has exceeded his wisdom. Meaning, even if he does not understand everything that he does, but he still do, right? Because he read in the books and he was taught to do that. He would do that, right? Do extremes. Extreme. So his deeds is going to exceed his wisdom. And our sages say if deeds of person are going to exceed his wisdom, the wisdom is going to stay, right? He's going to stay. But in many people, the intellectually sophisticated, they know a lot. So meaning their wisdom and their wisdom exceed their deeds. So this it's only a matter of time when they fail, right? When the Spanish Inquisition started, these people converted first, right? Even without pressure. Right? So I mean, without pressure from the church, it was pressure in their mind, and they already gave up. Right? Why wisdom exceed the deeds? Okay. Continue. Thus, the wise man is the one whose ethical behavior has developed to the point at which it reflects his intellectual sophistication. Mm-hmm. He is able to appreciate the mean to each of each trait and express it within the context of his daily life. The pious man also possesses his quality. Pious man also possesses his quality. But due to the desire for ultimate self-refinement, he is willing to sacrifice himself and tend slightly to the extreme in certain instances. Although in this Halachah, the Rambam differentiates between the middle path and path of the wise, that beyond the measure of the law, the path of pious, in his Hilchos De'ot 5:11, he describes how, according to the greatness of the sage, he should be the care. So should be the care he takes to go beyond the measure of the law. Thus, it appears that the truly wise man is unwilling to seek pious way. Okay, so I mean, all is good, but they push us to the extreme. But okay, so let's do this piece again. We're going to explain. And explain last part, which is very interesting. I mean, we explain everything. Thus, the wise man. So, wise man is a tzaddik, meaning that does everything what is expected of him. Thus, the wise man is one whose ethical behavior has been developed to the point. So, develop again. It's like with everything in life, you have to work on it. So, even a person had some tendencies. You still have to work on it and develop it, because all of us have Yetzer Hara, right? And Yetzer Hara makes sure that we have freedom of choice, right? So just because we have tendency does not mean that we automatically is going to be good, right? So again, this wise man is the one whose ethical behavior has been developed, right? So he developed it. To the point of which it reflects his intellectual sophistication, right? So ethical behavior, right? So his behavior, his intellect, very interesting. So correspond to his behavior. So that's what it says. So he knows what to do and does it. So some people know things only in theory and they behave like animals, but this person, he does whatever he teaches. Okay. Whatever he learns. He's able to appreciate the mean at each trait and express it with the context of the daily life. So meaning he knows what the middle of the path is for each character trait, and guess what? He lives by that, right? Like for many of us, it's like if we have some bad character traits, every day is a different challenge. So sometimes, unless we work like on extremes, so sometimes like exactly the same thing over and over again. So, but if a person did not give up, so that's also good. So we continue. But this person, so he appreciates the mean. I mean, meaning he knows that where the middle is of each trait and express within the context of his daily life. He lives by that. The pious man also possesses this quality. So meaning now we're talking about tzaddik, right? But due to his desire to ultimate self-refinement, so now he wants, as we said, he wants to be close to Hashem. He wants to serve Hashem on a high level. As our sages give this example, I love this example when father comes home in the winter, during the winter, and it's cold, and he said it's very cold here in this room, very cold, very cold. And one son, who is tzaddik, right? He would start the stove, right? They would bring the wood and start the stove, so it would be warm in the room, in the father's room. Okay, that's good, right? But Hasid, when it's the father is cold, so he would start the stove and says, Father, I'm going to bring you hot tea, and he brings a hot tea and slippers and hot some socks, like warm socks and something. So maybe a sweater as well. Understand? That's Hasid. So Hasid takes the idea, right, the main idea, and develops it further based on his knowledge, right, and based on his desire to be close to Hashem. As that second son, for sure, he loves his father. Like both of them love his father. If they would not love, the guy say, "Okay, father, so you don't know what to do. You're old enough. You can start the heater. Like, why are you asking me? Like, what you can press the button or start the wood, right? So Hasid, it does extra based on his understanding of the idea. Okay. Continue. Just 1 second. Again, the whole sentence. The pious man also possesses this and tends slightly to extreme in certain instances. Okay. Apologies. The pious man also possesses this quality, but due to his desire for ultimate self-refinement, right, he is willing to sacrifice himself and tend slightly to the extreme in certain instances, right? Again, because he wants to be closer to Hashem. Although in this Halachah, Rambam differentiates between the middle path and path of the wise. So as we saw a few times, so if Rambam was using same words, like same the different words describing almost like the same thing, so it means that it's not the same, basically, right? Okay. Because this wise, as we said before, the one time he called all of these people who goes in the middle path. And in another halachah, he says that it's if he goes in the middle path, the person is wise. Okay, right, and the wise and beyond the measure of the law, at paths of the pious. So and wise again, middle is good, and plus he called him wise, right, in different instances. And now this extreme, the guy who wants to be Hasid, so he called him pious. Okay. In Hilchos De'ot, so Hilchos De'ot, it's actually first section of this book, of this book, is all of the basis of the Torah, like how the prophecy works, why Hashem created the world, why do we need angels, what do they do, freedom of choice, all of these beautiful things. It's actually in this book, but first section. Okay, so there he describes how, according to the greatness of the sage, so should he be the care he takes to go beyond the measure of the law. So if person is great, he's kind of leader, he's a great sage. So he cannot be average. So average is for us, for simple people. But that person must go because Hashem expects from him to go to do more. Right? And not only Hashem, but even people. They expect when they get closer to the tzaddik, they expect him to do much more than we. You understand? So and that's what he has to do. So for him, for what for us is not requirement, for him is requirement. Thus it appears that a truly wise man is will ultimately seek the pious way, right? So, I love this. Thus it appears that truly wise man, right? So when he got to the middle path, right? So and eventually he's going to go, ultimately will seek the pious ways. Okay. Again, there is no such obligation, but because he's wise and he wants to be close to Hashem and serve Hashem on the highest level. Okay. Let me quickly check time. One second. Time flies so fast. Okay, so let's do just a little more at least. 61. The same applies with regard to all other traits. Okay. Meaning, if you go middle path, we're going to call wise, but if you want to do extreme, you're going to be Hasid. So the thing is, from my personal understanding, my personal advice. So many people burn their energy, burn their time on useless things. So first, before a person decides to be Hasid in some area, right? So you have to first see if it's not going to be a waste of time. Meaning what? Meaning what? Maybe it's better to invest this time, this energy in something else, right? So 62. There is a mean. There is a mean, which is the path of wisdom, right? Mean like in the middle path of wisdom, and deviation from the course will with a positive intent, which is a path of piety. Meaning right. So mean is the middle of the road, but if you want to do extreme for the right cause, there is no problem, right? Person is going to be pious. Okay. So I think we can stop here. Of course, we did not finish. Maybe we finish half of it. Yeah, I would say maybe half. So what else we should add? One example of what I just said. You know how many people ask me if they do Tikkun Chatzot? you start with Halachah. Just finish Kitzur Shulchan Aruch at least once. Then we talk about Tikkun Chatzot. At Tikkun Chatzot, when people cry about destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, so, I mean, I understand the feelings, but I think it does not come from right perspective. Because if you're going to spend so much energy and wake up in the middle of the night, and if you read, I know different people take different time. Let's say if you're going to spend 20 minutes, 40 minutes reading Tikkun Chatzot, and then next day you would be sleeping, would not able to concentrate on the learning. Who needs that? You understand that they call it in Gemara Hasid Shoteh. He's trying to be Hasid, but he Shoteh is crazy, stupid. You understand? That's I think it's a guy. At least one example from my experience that people trying to do, and it's not good. Or some people say, guys, right? I want to go to mikvah every day. I mean, if you live next to a mikvah and or it's next to your shul or in your shul, and you just come 10 minutes early before the prayers and you dip in the mikvah, that's nothing better than that. I mean, that spiritually it's unbelievable. Right, but if you're going to go somewhere and you have to drive there and there is no parking there, and you're looking for a parking, and then guess what? Until you find parking, until you go to the mikveh, and then you're late to shacharis to pray. Who needs that? You understand? And people exert a lot of energy to do something that's not even rabbinical. You understand? That's the problem. Okay. So please join us tomorrow. So we're going to continue with Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Thank you very much and good night.